Caleb Wilson is the best. This dude, he's more mature at 19 than I am at 41. I'm about to tell you why.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Tuesday, January 6th, 2025. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade. You've joined me at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Network, which is now the #1 sports podcast network. Appreciate all of you making us your first listener watch on this Tuesday to get your day going. Special shout out to all our Everydayers Club members, all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, and our insiders as well. Coming up on the show today, I mentioned it in the cold open, Caleb Wilson is more mature at 19 young years of age than I am at more than double his age, 41. I'll be 42 in about 3 weeks or so. It doesn't matter. So we'll look at that. I'll explain why I'm saying that. We're going to talk about Carolina needing to get back on the quad one horse. And the issue is, if they want to do that, they cannot miss games like they did on Saturday. I'll explain that. Also, biggest news of Monday, perhaps, Gio Lopez has flipped, changed his mind, and he's in the transfer portal. Oh, baby, we better talk about that one. A couple other quick things. Carolina falls to 17th in the updated AP poll on Monday. Congrats to Tyler Hansbrough, who was elected to the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame. Great stuff. And I got to give a big, massive, one-day belated 18th birthday shout out to our guy, Braden Mayberry. Braden and his family are like great fans of the show, always hanging out. His dad and I chat all the time. And man, 18, that is wild, dude. Braden, I hope it was a great birthday for you. Here's to whatever is ahead in the future. I hope and pray that God is making very clear and obvious the path that is set ahead of you. That's my prayer for you, my man. I love it. Happy birthday. Keep it rocking. All right, guys, here we go. Caleb Wilson. Why am I saying that he's so mature? Let's rewind back to Saturday in Dallas, Texas. Boopie Miller is torching Carolina. Caleb is switched off onto Boopie Miller. They're over in the corner in front of the bench. And there's a moment when Caleb gets crossed up, goes down, and what has to happen for a crossover where a guy falls to make it worth it? You got to hit the shot. Boopie Miller buries it. Now, did he cross him up? Did he shove him? Did he push off? Did he step on Caleb's foot? That's not why I'm here today. I'm not here to adjudicate that. Let's just assume that it was a true and honest to goodness crossover, because that makes this story actually better. Because a lot of people get all up in arms, they get butt hurt. I don't want to be on social media getting lambasted and getting embarrassed for falling down like that. Not Caleb Wilson. This dude, instead of that, it's like a complete 180 reaction for him. He recognizes, look, when you are in the public zeitgeist, when people are watching you all the time, when you are a strong defender and you're always on big time players, when you're scoring all the time, when good things happen to you, that's going to get praised. When bad things happen to you or potentially embarrassing things happen to you, people are going to make fun of you. I mean, you can go find this video of it happening. Lots of people tweeted it out, obviously. There's all sorts of comments about Caleb. Whatever, it's fine. And thankfully, a lot of Tar Heels fans are in there too, defending him. I love that. But what was so cool to me is that Caleb is not running from it. He's not hiding from it. He's not trying to say, oh, well, he stepped on my foot. But none of that. So William McAllister, who is a Tar Heels fan, off a pretty regular tweeter, he said, quote, "I've never seen so many overreactions to a dude getting crossed. It happens especially to good defenders who have to guard every second of the shot clock. The way SMU, Duke, and State fans have acted, you would have thought Caleb had 0 points and made no impact. Weird behavior," end quote. That's very, very logical and reasonable response there from William. But what I love is Caleb, he either quote tweeted that or replied to it. And this is what he said, quote, "It comes with success. I hope we get to see them, SMU, again in the tournament," end quote. Caleb, just short and simple. This has been him this entire year since he's come to campus. He's invited the smoke. He's backed it up. He's lived up to everything. And so here he's saying, hey, it happens basically. When you're in the public eye, that's going to happen sometimes. We call Andy Patton, my co-host on Locked On College Basketball. He actually told me about this a couple years ago. We call it fame tax, where basically if you're going to give your life to be in the public eye, sometimes you got to deal with it. And this is me in no way comparing myself to Caleb's celebrity, because I am not in any way, but because I talk about sports, because it's out there, because it's on social media, because we talk about other teams, people like to come at you. And it's just part of the deal. You have to learn to live with it. We call that fame tax. Caleb is handling it like a boss. And here's the thing for me. Go ahead and get Caleb riled up, put more of a chip on his shoulder than he already has. And then what's going to happen on Saturday against Wake Forest? Homie's going to go out and drop 30 and 15 with 6 assists or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that is how Caleb is going to respond to this. Not by I'm so in my feels and I can't deal with. No, that's not Caleb at all. It's like, cool. It happens. Way to go, Boopie. Nice shot. Nice play. You did it. Let's get him again. That's the competitor in Caleb Wilson. He just wants another shot at SMU. I love to see it. And here's the other thing. Again, it is that one moment, and those are the moments that get paraded around social media, and I hear that. And yes, it was a slower day by Caleb standards. He didn't get to touch the ball much in the second half, didn't get many shots in the second half. Got to fix that. That cannot happen. But Caleb still had 13 and 7. Like, what are we talking about? For most people, that's a great day at the office. So again, Caleb, so mature in how he is handling seemingly everything this season. All the accolades that are coming at him, all the people that want a piece of him, good or bad, he handles it with great aplomb. And I applaud him and his maturity at 19. I would not have done that. Thank goodness. I know old people like me say this all the time. Thank goodness social media was not around when I was his age, when I was in college, because I would not, if somebody had come at me with stuff like this, I would have been like, whatever, he pushed me, whatever, he stepped on my foot. Not Caleb. I love it. One other quick thing from Monday night college basketball before we move on. You know me, I'm a college basketball junkie. Not only do I host our show, I also host Locked On College Basketball, rather co-host it with Andy Patton. And so I'm all locked in on all the basketball games. One of my favorite things that's happened all season happened on Monday night, and good grief, I hope you saw it. Michigan State is trucking USC at home in the Breslin Center. And there's about 5-6 minutes to go. A referee goes over to the sideline right opposite of Michigan State's bench, points at a fan in the stands, and makes some motions, and then walks right over to Tom Izzo and says, what we learn later is he's basically telling him, hey, we got to eject this guy. He's got to get out of here. So they talk about it for a minute. The ref walks away. And then Izzo looks over at this fan and says, what the blank are you doing? You can read his lips. It's not a kind word. And in the moment, I was like, oh my goodness, Tom Izzo. Like, I know you like to yell at your players, but a random fan. And then the fan stands up because the staffer comes over to basically tap him and say, hey, buddy, you got to get out of here. The guy stands up, basically has some sort of demonstration with his hands of like, I love you, I'm sorry, whatever. And then pan back to Izzo, who says, get out of here. And I was befuddled until I checked in with Locked On Spartans host, Matt Sheehan, who is fun. I love Matt Sheehan, our Locked On Michigan State host. That was not any random fan. It was Paul Davis, who played at Michigan State, scored like 1,700 points from 2002 to 2006. So that's why I believe why the referee went over to Izzo to talk about it, because it's like, hey, you got to get your guy, man. It seemed like he'd maybe been drinking and just was spouting off at the ref. I've heard what he said to the ref. I'm not going to repeat it here, but it was the magic type of words that are going to get you booted, and you can't cross that line. So here's what's funny. I tweeted about it. Once I learned more about who it actually was, I quote tweeted that and then shared the video. And then all these like national media, Big Cat from Barstool. I don't know if you keep up with Barstool, but Big Cat quote tweeted my tweet about it. Jamie Erdahl, that covers the NFL, quote tweeted it. Somebody, Chris Vanini that writes for The Athletic. I mean, it was great. I was like, all right, you guys, here we go. But so fun, man. If you did not see this moment, you got to go back and watch it. It's great stuff. All right. North Carolina missed a golden opportunity Saturday to get their fourth quad one win on the road. And if they want to stack up some quad one wins, going to have to get some more opportunities like that. I'll explain it in just a second. Right after I tell you about Rocket Money, let's be real, managing your finances, it can truly feel overwhelming. Between subscriptions you forgot about, bills that keep piling up, and trying to figure out where all your money actually goes each month, it's easy to feel like you're losing control of those finances. And besides that, who has time to track it all anyway? Hunt down the hidden fees, all of that. No. The good news, that's where Rocket Money comes in, the personal finance app that helps you take control. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. The automatic transaction categorization is a game changer. I can finally see exactly where my money is going each month, every single penny. You can set budgets, you can set goals, you can get real-time alerts. It's great. Consolidate your checking, your savings, all of it into a single dashboard. So go ahead, let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Again, that's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. One more time, rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Thanks so much for making Locked On Tar Heels your first listener watch of the day. Thanks for making Locked On Network the #1 sports podcast network. Truly appreciate you. By the way, if you want to get even deeper with this show, check out the brand new Everydayers Club. There's 2 different tiers that you can subscribe to, and the links for that are in the show notes. All these great perks. I would encourage you to check it out. Let me know if you got any questions. LockedOnTarHeels.supercast.com. Okay. North Carolina going into Saturday's game at SMU was 3-1 in quad one. Great opportunity to pick up their 4th quad one win, a game, by the way, that's going to stay quad one all season, not even remotely close to dropping to quad 2 or lower. Had Carolina won that game, they would have been tied for the most quad one wins in the nation with 4. A couple teams have since the weekend jumped to 5. That's fine, whatever. But what I'm saying is Carolina is trying to get to that upper echelon. And that's another part, of why this loss hurt so much, because you missed a quad one opportunity. Not only that, by the way, you missed a chance to create some separation early in the ACC standings with basically all the other front runners aside from Duke losing last week. So a double ugh. But here's the thing. Carolina still has 7 more quad one opportunities left on the schedule as it sits right now. They've got 16 remaining regular season games. 7 of those, just shy of half, are quad one. Let me tell them to you. You ready? At Stanford, which is barely a quad one, by the way. They are ranked 75th as of Monday. That's the demarcation line for quad one on the road. At Cal, at Virginia versus Duke, at Miami, at NC State versus Louisville, at Duke. You start to notice a trend as I read through those 7 games. At versus at versus at. 5 of these 7 remaining quad one opportunities are all on the road, and just 2 at home. And by the way, those 2 at home are Louisville and Duke. Definitely not the easiest of wins. You would feel like you got a much better opportunity to get a quad one on the road at a Cal, at a Stanford, for example. At NC State. They don't look all that good. It's almost like people had blown them up in the preseason when they shouldn't have. Anyway, I digress. So here's the thing for Carolina. The bigger point. If the Heels want to start racking up more quad one wins, and they need to for their resume, 3, it's fine. That'll get you in the tournament, but it's not going to be a top 4, top 5 seed. So of these 7 opportunities, again, 5 are on the road, and you got to take advantage of it. Carolina missed that on Saturday. And when you look at these games, Stanford, Cal, Virginia, Miami, NC State, Duke, to me, the 2 most difficult games in that slate are Virginia and Duke. And then that leaves Cal, Stanford, Miami, NC State as the others. Each of those are opportunities for Carolina, and not that they won't win at Virginia or at Duke. I'm just saying those are much more difficult than at Miami, at State, at Stanford, at Cal. So Carolina needs to figure that out. Did I say 7 more? That I'm counting 8 here. I think I'm counting the numbers wrong. Wait, let's go back and recount this in real time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I apologize. I miscounted you guys. I was like, I've got 8 games on here. I counted wrong. So there are 8 more quad 1 opportunities. Wow, exactly half of Carolina's remaining regular season schedule. 6 of those 8 are on the road. Those quad 1 opportunities. So again, Carolina is going to have to go out. They're going to have to be road warriors. They're going to have to win these games. And look, you don't have to win them pretty. You just got to do what you did in Rep Arena on the road and finish with more points than the opponent. I don't care if it's 1 or 37. Getting these wins is massive because they will still go on your resume as a quad 1. And sure, yes, you've got to win your home games too, and you've got to win your non-quad 1 road games. But for Carolina to have the elite level of schedule that we expect them to get back to after what happened last year, got to do it. Great example that just popped into my head. Drake May, I saw an interview with him, and I know this is going to a different sport and a different team now, but Drake May was asked about what was your proudest accomplishment this regular season? And his answer was going 8-0 on the road. The Patriots didn't lose on the road this season. And that's already gone for Carolina. They lost this game at SMU. But with still 8 more road games to play in non-conference play, and by the way, the away games that aren't quad 1 are at Georgia Tech, which is quad 3, at Syracuse, which is currently quad 2. So of the 9 total road games for Carolina, they're 0-1. They've got 8 more. In totality, Carolina needs to be 7-2, 6-3 at worst. And it can't be the quad 3 game. You can't lose at Georgia Tech. That is a resume killer. And that's the good news about the ACC being better this year. You can afford to lose quad 1 games. That's not going to kill your resume. But still, you want to go out and win them. So I hope you're tracking with me with this. The SMU game, blown opportunity, golden opportunity, both for quad 1 reasons and for ACC standings reasons. Now Carolina's got to get it figured out. Obviously, they're at home next against Wake, but then they go out to California next week, Wednesday and Saturday. I believe it's Wednesday at Stanford, Saturday at Cal. Critical opportunities to pick up 2 quad 1 wins and go from 3-2 to 5-2. That's what I want to see. All right, you guys. Gio Lopez was slated to come back. That was the expectation. And then it came out Monday afternoon. Gio Lopez will not be back. He has entered the transfer portal. A couple other guys have committed to Carolina. Early entrants coming in. We'll talk about all that coming up to wrap the show in just a second. Big portal news on Monday afternoon. Gio Lopez has changed his mind. He is now entering the transfer portal, had initially said he was going to stay at North Carolina, play this next year, and that is no longer true. And it pains me because you obviously don't want to dump on players. You want to see them succeed and do well. But I think this is a best for both party situations, right? We said that about Caleb Wilson. We've said it about a couple other moments. And it just didn't work this year. Whether that was Gio himself, whether that was play calling from Freddie Kitchens, whether that was play design from Freddie Kitchens, whether it was the talent around Gio, it's hard to say. Probably a little bit of all of that, if we're being honest. And the fact that he came after spring ball, right? Like, I just didn't have a ton of time. But ultimately, in my opinion, North Carolina will be better off. And hopefully so will Gio Lopez, finding a new landing spot. That's similar to Cade Tyson this year at Minnesota. He's blowing up, and I love it. I'm so happy for Cade Tyson, and I hope that for Gio as well. He seems like a great kid. It just didn't work. And sometimes it doesn't. That's the transfer portal era. Now, you might remember, but the other news is somebody that we had on our show when he was like a sophomore in high school, Bryce Baker, who was the highly touted freshman this season, is in the transfer portal as well. I'm I don't like that. I think that stinks and I hate it. But as things sit right now, with Gio Lopez entering and Bryce Baker entering, you've still got Newkirk in the quarterback room. You've got Travis Burgess coming in, who is going to early enroll. He's coming off an injury in his high school season, so we'll see how quickly he can get back to practice and on the field, similar to Max Johnson last year. And then obviously the news from Sunday is that Billy Edwards from Wisconsin is committing to North Carolina. And then also the news that Miles O'Neill, a Texas A&M transfer, visited campus yesterday. I've said it, but who recruited him to Texas A&M? Bobby Petrino. I love it when you kind of read the bio, the scouting report. That's what I'm looking for on Miles O'Neill. Basically, he's known for his strong arm and his ability to deliver downfield throws. If that's not a trying to swing the pendulum back in the other direction, I don't know what is. What was so great in the Sam Howell, Drake May, I almost said Luke May, Drake May era? The ability to have explosive plays. What did we speak on again and again and again and again and then again last season about Carolina's inability? Was to have those explosive downfield plays. Every now and again, Juju might break one or something like that, but you can't rely on that. You need a quarterback who can accurately deliver deep balls and receivers who can go and get them, win a one-on-one, whatever it is. So I don't know what's going to happen with O'Neill. I don't know if that was the reason for Gio entering, but it's kind of a writing on the wall, right? You remember when Elliot Cadeau reclassified to come to Carolina and Simeon Wilcher subsequently asked out of his national letter of intent and wound up at St. John's. Similar kind of thing. So it seems clear and obvious. O'Neill comes or not, Carolina is not done with their quarterback room. Right now, it's Newkirk, it's Burgess, it's Edwards, and I believe there will be at least one more, and we'll keep our eyes on that. I mean, heck, Petrino wanted O'Neill, would make sense to try to get him. We'll see what happens there. A couple other commits announced for coming to Carolina on Monday. I missed this one on Sunday, or not missed it, but it was after I recorded Sunday night. Jackson Warren, a tight end from Colorado State, committed. He had a season-ending injury last year, and so we'll see how quickly he can get back. Jalen Harvey, a defensive end from Penn State, committed on Monday. This dude has 3 years of eligibility left. Carolina, you remember how pivotal Carolina's ends were last season for that defense. Man, need them. So hopefully Harvey and some others will be able to bring that. Another Wisconsin player, wide receiver Tresh Kakahuna from Hawaii, committed to Carolina on Monday. Don't know if it's like, hey, my quarterback's going, or the guy that was going to be his quarterback before his injury is going, I'm going to go too. We'll see what happens, but cool to have a Hawaiian guy on the team next year. That'll be good as well. And then a defensive lineman from Florida, Tarvarice Brown, committed on Monday. I had practiced his name a bunch of times and I still fuddled it. I apologize to Mr. Brown. Obviously there's going to be a lot more of this continuing to go. And as a reminder, Carolina is bringing in a whole truck ton of early enrollees, a record number according to Inside Carolina. 36 members of Carolina's 18th ranked 2026 class are expected to enroll early this week. According to Michael Lombardi, the GM, only 3 of the 2026 players are not early enrolling. Crazy stuff. Notably, all 10 of Carolina's 4 stars are part of this early enrollee class. I'll just list them off for you so you can remember some names. The highest rated player in the class, defensive back Jacob Weatherspoon, another D-back Kenton Dobson, a couple defensive linemen, Vodney Cleveland and Trayshawn Ruffin, some linebackers, one of my favorite names, by the way, DQ Forkpa, that Fork PA. Fantastic. I love it. I can't wait to see DQ. Calvin Thomas. Obviously, we already mentioned quarterback Travis Burgess. CJ Sadler, who's an athlete guy, can play a lot of different positions. I am really excited to see what he's going to be able to do for Carolina. And then a couple of wide receivers, Carnell Warren and Kayun Chapman. So that's where things are at as it stands right now. Obviously, we're going to have to keep tracking the transfer portal, everybody coming in, anybody else going out, because that's still open for another 8 days at this point, and so we'll see what happens there. All right, you guys, I want to thank you for joining me here on a Tuesday. If you haven't subscribed to the show, video and audio, do it now so you don't miss a second of Locked on Tar Heels. If you haven't checked out the brand new Everydayers Club, would encourage you to do that. Again, that link is in the show notes, or I can tell you more about it if you're interested. Also, we have a Discord for Locked on Tar Heels. It's just a great community chat. It's kind of like a message board, but an app where you can come hang out and chat with us. It's so fun. It's a great place to be. That link is also in the show notes. You guys, it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll talk again tomorrow, but until then, peace.